Welcome to the Global Focus Review channel at the request of the demons, who sought permission from Jesus to enter the pigs. The initial encounter between Jesus and Satan resulted in Jesus emerging victorious over temptations, as documented in Matthew 4. Jesus continues to exhibit his authority by invading and subduing two significant domains of Satan: the spiritual realm, where he exerts control over demons, Matthew 8:28-34, and dominion over illnesses and sins, demonstrated through the healing of a paralytic in Matthew 9:1-8. After miraculously calming the storm, Jesus and his disciples proceed on their journey across the Sea of Galilee. Upon reaching the region of the Gadarenes on the opposite side, they encounter a peculiar man possessed by demons, who resides among the tombs and cannot be restrained, even with chains. This man is under the influence of a legion of demons, screaming incessantly day and night and causing harm to himself with stones. When the man sees Jesus, he falls down before him and cries out, acknowledging Jesus as the Son of the Most High God. Pleading with Jesus, he asks not to be tormented. Jesus then inquires about the demon's name, to which the demon responds, Legion, indicating the presence of many demons within him. The demons implore Jesus not to banish them into the abyss, but to allow them to enter a nearby herd of pigs. Jesus grants their request, and the demons leave the man and possess the pigs. The legion of demons causes the pigs to rush down a cliff into the sea, where they drown. Startled, the pig herders flee and inform the city and countryside about the incident. People come to witness what happened and discover the once possessed man, now clothed and in his right mind, sitting at Jesus' feet. Despite the incredible liberation that took place, instead of rejoicing, they became filled with apprehension and requested Jesus to leave the area. Unlike the others, the freed man desired to follow Jesus, but Jesus instructed him to go back home and share with the people what God had done for him. Consequently, the man testified throughout the city about Jesus' mercy and power. This account emphasizes Jesus' authority over evil spirits, demonstrating his ability to free individuals from demonic oppression, granting them healing and transformation. In the Bible, demons are regarded as malevolent spiritual entities associated with the devil. They are portrayed as agents of evil, whose purpose is to inflict harm and tempt humanity, opposing divine forces. They are often depicted as beings that exert influence and possess individuals, leading to disturbing behaviors and illnesses. Another similar tale of liberation can be found in Matthew 17. One day, Jesus and his disciples encountered a crowd, and a desperate man rushed towards them, kneeling before Jesus, pleading for mercy for his epileptic son who suffered greatly. The man said, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is epileptic and endures immense suffering. Oftentimes, he falls into fire or water. I brought him to your disciples, but they could not heal him. Moved by compassion, Jesus addressed words of rebuke to the unbelieving and perverse generation, expressing his frustration with their lack of faith. He said, If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes. Bring the boy to me. Thus, the father hurriedly brought his son, determined to alleviate his affliction. Jesus rebuked the demon tormenting the young man, and the evil spirit departed from him instantaneously. At that very moment, a miraculous transformation occurred. The boy, who frequently suffered from epileptic seizures, was now completely healed. Intrigued, the disciples questioned Jesus about why they were unable to cast out the demon. Jesus responded by clarifying that their lack of faith was the reason for the limitation. He instructed them, emphasizing that even if they had faith as small as a mustard seed, they would be able to accomplish extraordinary feats. such as moving mountains. This touching story reveals Jesus' deep compassion as he heals the demon-afflicted son, highlighting the intrinsic importance of faith and the manifestation of miracles. The narrative emphasizes Jesus' exclusive authority over demonic powers, emphasizing his spiritual supremacy and the triumph of good over evil. His power not only breaks spiritual chains, but also promotes emotional healing and restores inner peace. Faced with this reality, the pursuit of spiritual protection and refuge in God becomes imperative to resist negative influences and achieve genuine liberation. Jesus encourages us to cultivate resilient faith, recognizing that amidst the shadows, the light of Jesus is the inexhaustible source of hope and redemption. Similarly, the Gospel of Mark 1 recounts a story of liberation. In Kerum, a city in the region of Galilee, on a typical Sabbath day, Jesus enters the synagogue accompanied by his disciples. The atmosphere is filled with anticipation from those seeking to hear the teachings of this influential man. While Jesus is there, a distressed man possessed by an unclean spirit cries out in despair, revealing the spiritual conflict tormenting him. The onlookers are perplexed by the scene, observing the interaction between the distressed man and Jesus, who exhibits serenity amidst the commotion. Jesus sternly rebukes the unclean spirit, commanding it to be silent and leave the possessed man. Tension fills the air as everyone awaits the supernatural response. Then an extraordinary event takes place, as the impure spirit, stirred as if by an internal tempest, emits a piercing cry before departing from the man. The subsequent silence is shattered by the astonished murmurs of the witnesses. As the news spreads throughout the synagogue, they discuss a new teaching delivered with authoritative power, even commanding unclean spirits and compelling their obedience. Word of this spreads, and Jesus' reputation as a teacher and exorcist expands even further in that region. However, have you ever pondered what occurs to demons after they are expelled from a person's body? Have you contemplated why the demons requested Jesus to send them into the pigs? To find answers to these questions, we must first delve into the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, which is found in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 16. The story goes like this. One day, Jesus shared a captivating parable about a wealthy man and a beggar named Lazarus. The rich man lived a life of opulence, surrounded by comfort and abundance, while Lazarus lay at the gate of his house, covered in sores and yearning for even the crumbs from the rich man's plentiful table. Occasionally, dogs would come and lick Lazarus's wounds. After some time, both men passed away. Lazarus was carried by angels to the comforting bosom of Abraham, a place of peace and solace. On the other hand, the rich man was buried and found himself in Hades, a state of torment. From his place of suffering, the rich man saw Abraham and Lazarus in the distance and cried out, asking Lazarus to dip his finger in water to alleviate his parched tongue. Abraham replied, saying, "Son, remember that during your lifetime you received good things while Lazarus received bad things, but now he is comforted here, and you are in agony." Abraham explained that a great chasm separated them, making it impossible to cross over. Concerned for his brothers, the rich man implored Abraham to send Lazarus back to warn them about the fate that awaited them. However, Abraham refused, pointing out that Moses and the prophets had already provided sufficient guidance. The wealthy man insisted that in the event that someone rose from the dead and approached his brothers, they would believe and repent. However, Abraham stated that if his brothers did not heed the teachings of Moses and the prophets, they would not be convinced even if someone were to rise from the dead. This parable underscores the significance of recognizing and acting upon spiritual opportunities present in life, while also warning about the everlasting consequences of earthly choices. In the parable, the rich man is led to Hades, often interpreted as hell, which is depicted as a place where the souls of the deceased await judgment. Jesus narrates that the rich man dies and goes to Hades, while Lazarus is taken to the embrace of Abraham. The Bible mentions various locations associated with the punishment of fallen angels, such as Tartarus and Hades. Tartarus is referenced in the second book of Peter, 2:4, as a prison where certain angels are held in chains of darkness, awaiting judgment. In the book of Genesis, 6:1-4, there is a mention of fallen angels who abandoned their proper dwelling and were imprisoned. The connection between these locations lies in the notion of punishment and the anticipation of judgment. The abyss, referred to in the narrative before the interaction with the herd of pigs, is a plea from the demons to Jesus not to be sent there. This abyss, or bottomless pit, is also mentioned in Luke. The context suggests that the demons were concerned about being sent to the abyss before the designated time. Their recognition of Jesus' authority and knowledge of a future judgment destination indicates their fear of this imminent outcome. By choosing to send the demons into the pigs, Jesus emphasizes his prioritization of human life above all other forms of life, symbolizing the supreme value of humans, particularly over material possessions. He visually demonstrates his mastery over demonic forces, aligning with the principles of the Old Testament Jewish laws. Pigs were considered unclean animals according to these laws, carrying a connotation that extended beyond their physical nature. By choosing to free the possessed man instead of preserving the herd of pigs, Jesus clearly shows his preference for human life. This decision not only emphasizes the significance of spiritual redemption, but also underscores the supreme value that Jesus attributes to human existence. The pigs, in addition to their spiritual symbolism, also had a practical role in the local economy, serving as a source of food and holding economic value. Therefore, their loss would directly impact the community. As a result, the people reacted with fear and asked Jesus to leave the region, fearing material losses as the pigs drowned. This prioritization of material goods, represented by the pigs, at the expense of valuing the restoration of human life, reveals the tendency of the local inhabitants to prioritize the tangible over the transcendent. The story of the man with the pigs in Gad conveys various lessons, with a central one being Jesus' prioritization of restoring human life. This is evident in his choice to free the possessed man rather than preserving the herd of pigs. The narrative highlights the importance of valuing human life over material possessions and recognizing Jesus' authority over demonic forces. It encourages us to reevaluate our priorities, seek a deeper understanding of spiritual significance, and recognize Jesus' emphasis on the redemption and transformation of human lives. I would love to hear your opinion on this matter. Please share your thoughts in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. I also welcome your suggestions for future videos. See you soon.